actually going to get started on a video that I've been really wanting to get started and put out. It's actually something that I have more knowledge about than building engines and race cars and whatnot. I can actually give you some tips on the welding side of it because, you know, I do a lot of welding for a living. But we have a Rhodes roll cage for the S10. I gutted the interior a week ago. Didn't film that because I had no idea what I was doing. It was hectic. I didn't know what I was doing. But now, when we go back, I can kind of explain it better because it's really not that complicated once I calm down and see what I was doing wrong. But I'm going to get home with this cage, unload it up, and I will be getting some really good videos. I got some good ideas from other YouTubers. When I kind of do their idea with it, I kind of mention their channel and tell you where I got it at. But we're almost home, and we'll hop to it. We'll see you guys in a little bit. So this is the cage layout. It's got your halo, A-pillar, straight bar, belt bar, dash bar, his bar, her bar, main hoop. Me and Evan, my brother there, we're going to just set it in and see where it files out at before I can cut the hose in the floor out, combos, and see where it's going to file out at, and I'll get back with you on that. Okay, so actually, my idea was going to be to come off that with some outriggers, but it comes to find out I didn't really do it. I drilled some holes, and they actually landed out to be on the frame, and we're going to set the main hoop in and tack it, and I'll hop back on here piece by piece once I tack it in and walk you through how I did it and what it needed to be done to get there. So this is just kind of what we're doing now. Let me get it tacked in, and I'll hop back on here with you. Alright, so I told you I'd kind of walk you through the deal, and it was really hard to do one-handed, so I got Evan there to hold the camera for a minute. I just kind of cranked up the upchurch and went down welding this thing and put it in. It's not done yet, of course. The main components are tacked. Halo, main hook, door bars, A-pillars, dash bar, belt bar, all that good stuff. I'll have him walk around to this other side here, and I'll kind of show you what we got going. Alright, right here is the cage and, you know, the hole. You know, you got your halo up here, dash bar, A-pillars, door bars, belt bar, okay? There's also going to be two kickers coming down here, and I do like my own custom X deal or whatever. I'll X it up here, and then we're going to come through the back in the wintertime when I get a piece of Lexan, okay? Now, what we did, as you can see right here, right here's the frame rail. Frame rail, frame rail, frame rail, okay? I just kind of estimated where this needed to sit at, cut a bigger hole than what I needed, set that in there. Alright, once you weld everything up flush and square, you want to keep everything level. Luckily I have a halfway decent level garage floor, so it's best if you really want to do it, put it on jack stands because your suspension will be level. But anyways, I didn't. A lot of this, all you need is a welder. I recommend 220. I put cages in with 110 welders. It just takes forever. You just got to double check everything. You got to gap everything so you get good penetration. The 220 hole board I'm using, butter. You're going to need a chop saw or a cutoff wheel or something just to cut square with. And then if you come over here, I'll show you my tubing notcher I borrowed. And back on the welder, always take and dial the welder in before you weld on your cage because the certification says you can't grind on your beads. If you mess up, you messed up. I borrowed this from an old teacher of mine, good buddy of mine. It's a tubing notcher. You put a hose on it, chuck it up, set your angle on it, just run it through. Pretty cut and dry on that. So what I'm getting ready to do is fit up the braces that go to the floor. But before I do that, I'm going to fire up the stick welder and rip in the frame weld there. I'm going to weld it with 60-10, 70-18 all the way out because I trust that a lot more. I use that more with heavier stuff. Not saying I don't trust the MIG welder, but you know, I feel more comfortable welding that in with stick welder. So I'm going to rip that in real quick. I'll have Evan hop back on and follow along while I'm welding so I can get some welding shots. I don't have a welding lens, so it's just going to be bright lights, but we'll show you the welds afterwards. got it warm. Alright. You should have to film much more of this here. Turn the big rudder off. What we're going to do now is we're going to top in and rip the back side of this bar in. You may have to walk around with it. Hey everybody, I didn't do such a good job at walking through the cage build there because, like I said in the first part, I just turned up my music and just did, what I do. I get really stressed out and have to watch a lot of videos and get a lot of help on suspension and rear ends and engines and transmissions because, it's just a hobby for me. I don't really do that for a living, and I don't really know everything there is to know about it. And by no means do I know everything about fabrication, but that's what I went to school for. It's what I do for a living. So I kind of knew what I was doing and kind of didn't. There was no two cages that I have built since I've been doing these cages, which has not actually been that long, have been the same. They've all got their differences. They all fit different. They all whatever, Hear a bug over there. But I figured I'd come in at night, now that everything's in, everything's tidied up, and I can do a little talking about it. Excuse me. And kind of show you what I did. And maybe you can get some good ideas off of it now that there's no loud noises, nobody else is out here. Just me, and I can show you what we got. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Try not to swarp and going all over the place and give you guys motion sickness, but show you what I've got going. So I'm going to flip around and show you what I've got here. Okay, we're on the passenger side. I'm going to kind of walk through this as if you were somebody that had really never even been around a roll cage. So this back piece here is called your main hoop. It goes up and around. Your halo is the hoop that you see up here. You got your A-pillars, door bars, belt bar, and then I think I might already said dash bar in there. Now the cage I have also comes with some kickers. It's supposed to come down here, which I can put in later, and then 2 bars is going to come through this back glass once I have a piece of lake sand and tie it to the bed. Okay. These door bars are supposed to be shoulder height. Your belt bar is supposed to be shoulder height. So I fit that off of myself. The cage is in 4 places to the frame. It'll be 6 places once we get the bars to the back window. And we got it in 6 places to the frame. Nothing too bad. And my plan for afterwards is I'm going to take some of these plates that come with the kit. I'm going to come to the center of this plate and I'm going to cut out an 1 5/8" circle with a hoe saw, the same size as the pipe. I'm going to then take a saw and saw this in half through the circle, slide both halves around the bar to the floor, and weld it up and close it those big holes that I had cut. So, we'll be doing that. Moving over to the driver's side, show you some of the future plans and what we did over here. I am a pretty good sized youngin', and I can't really get in and out of this real good, so I'm going to take the stock steering wheel and switch that out for an aftermarket with a quick disconnect wheel there to get in and out better. I made my own brackets. The seat is mounted to the belt bar in the back, and then to the floor down there with some angle iron and square tubing brackets. The only thing that I could have did different on this cage, and I didn't really notice it until it's too late, is you have more distance over here between the A-pillar and the side of the cab, and over here, it's like 1.5 inches. It's like, well, not even really that much, but it's, you kind of got to look for it before you see it. But anyways, that's to do with that. I use just Hobart welder. It's a really nice welder, 230 amps. Really nice welder. Gas, 035 wire. All settings, you're gonna have to get on your own, but I highly recommend that type of welder. The next is I'm gonna get the other Jegs racing seat mounted, the matching RJS harnesses. I'm gonna bed line to the floor, put the shifter boot on, and be good to go. So with that being said, that's the cage and how it's laid out. Now, that's just the rundown of how I did things, and there's some clips in there of me welding, and I think even one of them you may be able to see. Yeah, I believe we filmed some while stick welding, like actually welding. So I used 2 different welders. I used the MIG welder, stick welder. There's definitely room for profit if you wanted to do these for a profit for other people. But you've got to understand, if you did these for somebody, like I did these for somebody, this is the first cage I did for myself. I'm the one that's got to deal with this cage, and the person that I built the cage for, that's their cage. This is my money that I'm playing with. This is my preferences. This is my size. So when I do a cage for somebody, whether I like it or not, doesn't matter. It's like cutting. If you're a barber and cut hair, if somebody tells you to give them a big goofy looking pink mohawk, it's not your hair to wear around. It's nothing to you. If they want that, you give it to them. I did the coolest cage I've got to be a part of and do was Virgil over at Nightmare on Your Streets cage. It's in a Fairmont wagon. Really, really nice how it turned out. We ended up using a Fox body cage and some extra piping to make. He ended up getting to keep the factory back bench seat. Tied in really nice. It was a floor cage. I would have liked to have. Actually, I don't know if you can get like a subframe connector kit or whatever for a wagon deal. I'd like to did it. I'd like to have a lift and got under it and did a little things, but a really nice cage. And back to, if you don't like it, that cage, he came over, him and his dad, they came over that one of those nights I was working on it. I had the cage tacked up, and I told him, I said, you guys, if you're satisfied with it, we can weld it solid. Anything we need to change, we can. And according to their measurements at the time, everything was good, and it was welded up. Well, there was an issue with the dash fitting, and Virgil runs a certain type of class sometimes that you have to have a factory dash, and it wouldn't go back in. I'd never worked. Usually when I have somebody do me a cage, it's a stripped car. When it comes to me, I don't strip it. I don't put it back together. I just do the fabrication and the welding. So I ended up going to Virgil's garage and refixing that cage for him because, I don't want anybody to have something that they don't want or use, And, it was nothing for me to go over there and help him out. And it was just really nice, I guess is what I'm saying, to have the guy that needed it, me, doing the work for my own self. There wasn't any guesswork. There wasn't any of that. It was, look at it. If I liked it, I liked it. I'm sure that there's some OCD people out there that would absolutely freak out if they had A-pillar bars that didn't look, correct. And this is actually the first cage I ever did that I eyeballed them. I didn't measure anything on these A-pillar bars. They're eyeballed where they're at. They fell out on the frame where they're at. Now, I like to get a center line on every car I do. I did this one. You find a center line and you bring it up the back window, down the back of the truck, the floor, up the front, up the windshield, wherever you're doing that, so you can measure off of it. And the way I do that is I just take a frame and square after I find the center, obviously. On my S10, I measured from the weather stripping lip to weather stripping lip and found the center of that and made that my center line of the truck, because my old truck is not real straight and you got a lot of bent joints and rusty places. It's not square to measure off of, so that's how I did it. It's really not that bad. You could easily go to Harbor Freight and buy everything that you need. Welder, grinder, everything you need to do this. It's, and I recommend pre-bent cages. I highly recommend pre-bent cages. If you can find Rhodes as this brand cage, it's a really nice brand cage. They're bent really nice. Usually everything that you buy from the Jegs or something that's that brand, or I forget the other brand cage name. They all come a little big, so you got some room to cut and play with. And I really like the Rhodes cage because it's not like a one size fits all. If you type in what you got, it's what you got. You know, it's after that, I really, comment down below what you'd like for me to talk more about on that side of it, or if this was a complete waste of your time hearing me ramble on for 10 minutes or whatever about how the cage went in, put that in there. But that's the S10 right now. That's where it's at. I plan tomorrow to finish up the interior. Plan to do that, and I'd like to get to drive it tomorrow. So I may, if you follow me on any other social media, Instagram, Facebook, you may see some pictures of the truck out cruising. If we get anything wild and crazy, I may video it for here. But I do appreciate all you guys for watching. I think I'm up to almost 80 subscribers now, and when you compare it to some of these other bigger channels, 80 subscribers is nothing. But also then again, you got Facebook, which everybody's got 500-600 friends. I don't really look at that the same. You guys are following along with something that I actually care about in the build. And I hope that you guys get stuff from it. And I hope that I'm not doing this just for in 10 years to look back on here and see that I've did it. I hope that somebody enjoys it and gets information from it. And I always try to be honest. If I know what I'm doing, I'll tell you. And if I don't, I can learn together and you can watch me learn. And hopefully you can see the mistakes that I make. So that's the plan. I'm really satisfied with how it turned out. And share this with somebody. Share it somewhere. Get us a couple more people on the bandwagon of the. I'd like to get some of those crazy number of subscribers. Could you imagine freaking being Texas Speed sponsor or something like that? That'd be ridiculous. But until then, you guys just follow on and we'll go from there. May get some stuff up the nudge tomorrow. I hear that they're doing some cooking out, so maybe some hanging out up there. So we will see you later. Like, comment, and subscribe.